Hey Lily, welcome in. Hope work is going all right. The audio balance is going to be very off right now because my scenes are actually set up for streaming from the Switch. But I promise to fix it in just a second. I'm still grabbing my last couple of things because I'm a mess. This was very much an impromptu. I've decided I'm gonna stream, and then oh no, nothing is set up. So let me figure all of that out. Okay, let me, one of my friends has decided to be very talkative right now. So I'm just gonna ignore her text messages. All right, let me swap scenes. I should probably make a go live tweet. There we go. Look at the mess that is my table right now. All right. So I'm a mess. So good morning. Good time zone. Sorry, I'm like, I should have planned all of this in advance, but I pretty much just decided to do this about 10 minutes ago, and nothing was set up. So, you know, I do this to myself. Post. There we go. The funny thing is that this is not even my actual desk. This is technically my kitchen table, which I never use for kitchen table things. Well, I should rephrase that. I rarely use for actually cooking or eating on. All right. So real quick, I'm gonna do run through. Also, this is made a little bit worse because this is all of my dice stuff, which basically I use, clean, and then pack back up. No. The mask is, so context here, and this is a little bit why this will be a limited mic stream, is that I do not have very good ventilation in my apartment, in terms of where it's set up and where I can reasonably place my workstation. So like I can't be right next to a window that I have open or anything like that. So for safety reasons, just to take good care of myself, I picked up a respirator mask that I will be using, and that's why this will be low mic, because I actually don't know. Like, we will attest it. Y'all can be my guinea pigs. So we'll test if you all can even hear me through the mask. It's probably something that would be better set up if I had like a lav mic, which I just haven't gotten around to yet. But yes, welcome in everyone. I hope you're doing well. Hi, Lily. Herb, I hope you're doing all right. Hey, Blackjack. Yes, dice crafting in the morning. So comedy story, as you can see right here, I have my hardener and my resin. I actually had intended to try and make these dice sets last night, only to realize that the last time I made dice, I apparently swapped the lids because I had them both open at the same time, and the hardener and the resin mixed and both of them got fused closed. So rather than making dice last night, I was spending my time trying to soften the hardened resin enough to get the lids open. And as you can see, we're making dice today, so I did make that happen. I did work it out, and so I swapped them back, and then I put the letters on them so I know which is which, and I don't get them confused again if I fall apart. And I was very frazzled. So a little bit of backstory, y'all. As I knock over my water, it's fine though, because it's just water. Yay me. As you all can see, I'm a mess today. But we'll clean that up in just a second. I have a paper towel right here. But this is the original, yeah, right? The only way you know is if you actually look at the bottle itself. So the background here is this is the mold that Cypher originally got me, and it's still great, and I'm using it. It has like the cal drop, the little like pyramid D4. And so I finally broke down a couple days ago and was like, I want to make other sets. And I bought the mold, same company, Dice, but this mold has the D4 as the little crystal. And so foolishly, over the weekend, I was like, oh, I'll do 2 sets of dice back to back. And I got a little ahead of myself because I'm still very much a beginner. I made my first set of dice like about a month ago. And I was doing multiple colors that I was like layering in little by little. And so while one set was one color of resin, like I partially put some in, I had another color sitting while I waited for the bubbles to rise so that I could hopefully clear it out. I was like, oh, let me go ahead and get started on the next one. So I ended up, rather than doing them one at a time, kind of overlapping them, which if I was more experienced would have probably been fine, but was not the case. And I ended up getting frazzled, especially because the set with the crystal D4, I ended up having a whole thing of like, oh no, I don't think I have enough resin. It needed a little bit more. That's on me. I didn't mix enough. And in my attempt to resolve it quickly enough to still have a viable set of dice, I had opened both bottles. Now, normally I open one bottle, I pour it to whatever ratio or amount that I'm going to do, and then I close it and set it aside and open the next one. But I was so frazzled as all of this was happening that I had opened both, and then I was literally staring at them going, both are open. I don't know which lid was which because I was moving it around the table. And in my mind, I'm going, I hope I put them on the right ones because this will be a problem if I don't. And then, surprise, last night I go to try and make dice and was like, oh, let me test lids to make sure that they'll open. And guess what, y'all? Guess what? They did not. Now, give me a second. Let me go grab my towel and a new paper towel so I can clean up the water that I spilled. But yeah, so the reason that I'm saying that this is a low mic is because I am going to be using the mask, and as a result, which is good because safety first, everyone, please. But I don't know how well the mic will come through that, so we'll do a test with y'all as my guinea pigs to see if it's even, you can even understand me through it. And then, if not, that's fine. We'll just have the mic off while I'm doing the mixing and everything, and then we can, at the end, wrap up. depending on how long this takes and how it goes and whether I try to do 1 or 2 sets of dice, I might transition everything over to my sewing table because I rolled it out here so I could have the nice sunlight, at which point we will maybe cut some fabric. So a little bit of context here, I'm set up at my kitchen table because I like the sunlight, and it's a little bit easier. Susie, why are you like this? A little bit easier for me to set up for doing resin things than the cave where I might sand the dice, which is planned for probably tomorrow night as a co-stream. And sorry, I'm looking for something. I promise I will be back in just a second, y'all. But yes, so sanding the too many sets of dice, which I'm now going to add another, at least one more to. Because, you know, I'm an adult, why not make myself suffer more? Oh, also let me know how the audio balance is, y'all. This was actually set up. This is my laptop, which I normally have set up for streaming from the Switch. So I just kind of did an estimated balance based on what I remember my settings on OBS on my desktop when I have music playing and I'm doing, you know, the equivalent of like a just chatting. Okay, I think that's good enough, so we will put that there. I say this as I forgot to get more paper towel because I'm a mess. All right. So the good part is I had all of this set up last night to make dice. It's fine. So let me run you all through what I think I'm planning as I shift and put everything in the right place. One of the biggest challenges I will say hilariously, for making dice right now is my lint roller. My dog. No matter how much I clean, her dog hair is freaking everywhere. And I feel like I'm just in a perpetual state of being like, please don't get on anything that will end up in a set of dice. Specialty dice. Comes with Susie's dog hair. There's also water everywhere from me spilling my water. I have not yet gotten rid of my second dice set, which was the failure set, which is right here. It's just hanging out here. Like, there's just a giant... I mean, I could probably, like, stick it into a mold and try filling it in. Yeah, daytime Mandy stream, because I know we're going to be sanding dice and doing things together, but I decided to hate myself just a little bit more and make more dice. So, you know, why not? All right, it's a little wet, which is annoying me. So what I'll do is I'll let this sit and dry for a second while I talk you all through what I'm planning. So I have the two molds. I think we're going to start with the Crystal D4. And I've decided, because I was watching an anime last night with characters who had really fun eyes, so we are going to try and do a tricolor pour. I'm going to attempt to use this nifty thing I got from Cypher, so I'm going to mix the three, and it's going to be a purple. This is violet, which is not showing up very well in the light. To hopefully a pinkish. This is lavender, which theoretically is more purple-esque, but I feel comes out kind of pink-ish as a transition, and then lemon for yellow at the top. It looks really cool in the character's eyes in the anime. I don't know if it's going to turn out as well here, but so this is going to be a combined test where I'm going to do a little bit more resin this time to hopefully fit correctly and figure out what works best with this mold. I'm going to try doing it as a 3-color pour with this that I'll hopefully get to pour in easily enough. And then depending on how that goes and how we're feeling, I have a second set I'd like to try probably similarly. And I kind of want to do ocean-esque which ones? Yeah, this color, which will be a dark blue to a not as dark blue. And then I don't really have a light blue, and I'm not sure how to make a light blue, so I have this kind of like greenish, tealish that I'm gonna figure out because my attempt to add black to a color to darken it did not work. So therefore, I'm terrified of adding white to a color and have it not lighten it. But yes, so eventually I'm sure I will have failure sets, but we're going to take this slow. I'm not going to try and do both sets at the same time. We're going to do it one at a time so I don't mess everything up. So, things that I have here before I put on the mask and we do an audio test. I don't know that I have peacock as a color. Let me take a quick look, because all I have right now, besides the couple of picnic powders you gave me, was just this resin set. Coloring for it, and the closest I have is just other greens. So those are kind of the only blues that I have at the moment. I'll probably start building up a background of, like, I'm doing a bunch of testing with these colors before I start buying too much else yet, but yes, I don't have too many failure sets yet, but we'll see how that goes. So we are gonna do these one at a time. Let me just move this one out of the way because we're not gonna mess with you yet. Wait, no. I've mixed them up. Here we go. That's the Pyramid D4, so that'll go to the side. So I have a bunch. Now, typically I've mixed separately, but what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to try and do equal amounts of these. Honestly, if I had better ventilation here in my apartment, I might feel differently about it, but because I don't. So I'm probably going to go ahead and just mix a total of 60 milliliters into one and then pour it out into the others. Are my alerts broken again? No, I don't have alerts on this screen. So, do I have alerts somewhere? Here we go. My mistake. This is why I have this, like, there we go. It showed up. Thank you for the resub. Good morning. Happy holidays. Hope you're doing all right. There we go. As you can see, this is my jury rig setup for the laptop, which I typically only use for the Switch. And because of that, it's not well prepared. So I have extra things here in case I want to mix differently, but probably all we're going to need is this. One of my stirring... We'll have the two set to the side. Y'all can't see it. Let me see if I have it enough. Here we go. I have a little candle warmer that I've turned on and heated up that I use to kind of like speed up getting some bubbles out. So we'll mix the three colors. We'll pour it into whatever this is called. I don't know. And then we will attempt to fill and hope it works out. I have my notepad over here where I keep track of what I'm doing. Like what colors I use, how much to get the effect, and then anything funny that I do, kind of amounts, things like that. Oh, let me swap this over too, because I originally wrote this when I thought I was going to be doing it tomorrow. So I'm just double checking that I have all the things I need. We'll move our towel out of the way in just a second. We'll take the lint roller through again because frickin' Susie. I love her. But I would like... I don't know how, despite all the cleaning I do, that there's always dog hair somewhere. The only place that I keep reasonably clear really is the kitchen, and that's because she's not allowed in there. I literally keep a lint roller. I was wearing a light colored shirt yesterday, and I was like, I just need to stop buying light colored clothes or making them, because with a dog with dark hair, it's useless. It's like, I love you, dog, but also this is the worst. And she doesn't even shed that much comparative to like dogs I've had in the past or that family have had and what have you. You need that candle warmer. I'm telling you, I will send you a candle warmer, Cypher. It's a cheat. It's such a... Now, the one thing you have to be careful of, and I was reading up on this, of course, is like anything, as you're heating it, that does give you less time, if I understand correctly, less time to work with before it like starts, it sets faster, I guess. Less working time with the resin. That's the word I wanted. All right, let's move my water out of the way. So as always, y'all, we don't need you yet. We will need one of you. And then just in case I have, from Cypher, one of these sitting off to the side, in case I have extra resin, I can have something to pour it into to use it. Obviously, I wouldn't fill all of these, but I could try a couple things. So let me catch up on chat. I mean, like, I don't have it here. Thank you for reminding me. I do have a like, I don't know, this is a lighter probably for a grill or something, that I use to take the bubbles off the top. But in terms of getting the bubbles to float to the surface and stuff, the candle warmer is great for that. And way less effort than, like, you know, running the actual bottles of resin and stuff under like warm water. And listen, I'm taking the shortest path to the most things. So a candle warmer will probably cost you like, what, 10, 20 bucks maybe? Probably cheaper depending on where you go. Share the dice that weren't fails. That's right. I have not, outside of Discord, I have not publicly posted the Werther's original dice or the attempt at clouds yet. Not because I don't want to, but because I'm super lazy and I was too lazy to, to write the alt text, and I refuse to post the images without alt text. So safety, making sure that you have your gloves. I have a pack of alcohol wipes for cleaning and hopefully making things less terrible. I have my mask. So, yes, or dog hair kept you from pup cuddles. Yeah, it's the pro and con. It's like dog, but also dog hair. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna make all of the runes. It's if I have any left over from this pour, because I'm doing a higher amount to make sure I can fill this appropriately. If I have left over, I just wanted to have somewhere to put it instead of wasting any resin if I could. Plus side of using candle. Yeah, it does. And like, it's so much easier to pour and everything like that. So like, I like it from that. Like, it helps get bubbles to the surface way faster. Like, I can basically put a thing of one color, if I'm doing multiple colors, onto it, and by the time I've mixed the second color, that one has most of the bubbles have frozen, and all I might have to do is take the lighter to the surface, and I can pull it off and put the next color on. And so once that's all done, I usually end up with a pretty solid pour. So so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do this color first, and then we'll swap over maybe and do the second set of colors. So real quick, y'all, I'm going to turn the mic off for a second. I'm going to put on my respirator mask, and then I will attempt to see if y'all can understand me through the mic. If not, this might just be jazzy music in the background, or we're on the elevator playlist again, so we're going to go on a journey here. But going to attempt this mic. It's a headset mic. It's just this is one of the Logic G. I think it's the G435. So like decent when I'm just sitting here, but I don't know if it'll work with the mask. If I ever actually end up with a lav mic, that might work a little bit better just because it will be less in the way. But we'll give it a test. Y'all can tell me how it sounds or if it's worth it. If not, I might just have mic off while I mix and everything, and then we'll take like short breaks to come back to it. So one sec. Can you all hear me? Sort of okay. I feel like you're gonna get a lot of breathing just because the mask is really loud. Alright, so let's just set you to the side. Also, let me know how the audio balance is. The music seems kind of loud, but it's, you know, I'm assuming I sound a little bit muted through the mask. But alright, let's get started. Also, I'm pretty sure my table is not level, but that's fine. Okay. That's sort of what I expected. It's twofold, because this is a... Here, I'll move the camera for a second so y'all can see. There you go. You can see this. So, like a lav mic, I could clip, well, not on this, but I could clip somewhere that might come out a little bit better. So we're gonna do no mic while I work. So just hang out and I guess watch the mayhem. Okay, testing. Okay, hold on. All right, we're back. So first set done. And I think they turned out pretty good. All right. Now, let me So huzzah, we made a set of dice. Let me find my phone and pull up chat. I'm gonna take everything over to a separate room. So basically I'm gonna do a quick rinse of all of these because we're gonna use them again to now make a second set of dice. We'll let all of this sit for a moment. You can actually, I feel like these two pours here on the end of the, so this is what I want the runes for, was that I could do a any extra rather than just having a bunch of leftover resin. So let me go move all of this to another room where we're gonna rinse it all out and clean it off. And y'all can tell me if the mic is still doing okay, because I am in a separate room. Hopefully it's like a decent backdrop, even if I can't have the mic on, to be able to This is such a weird combination of music pretzel. Like, sometimes I just have questions about this playlist. I was thinking about it where I'm like, captions are probably taking y'all on a journey. So yeah, let me know if audio gets a little too spotty while I'm here in the other room, but I do want to take at least one quick rinse of all of this before I use it all again. But yeah, so that set turned out, I feel like, pretty good. It'll still have some bubbles in it, but it's not, I think like the color mix and stuff was nice. It was definitely what I was hoping to go for. In addition to that, the extra resin, I mean, it still ended up being too much, but was better than last time when it was not enough, which might have been the way I did it. I do like the tri-pour, though the one thing that did, I think, I don't know how well it came through in the captions, though, is that the yellow was still relatively the purple that had been sitting for longer, and so they weren't pouring out at the same speeds. And that's, like, my D20 is going to have significantly less purple than some of the others because of that. Which is not bad, it's just, hey, lesson to myself. Let it all sit a little bit longer so that all of the resin's at a more similar temperature, and I'm more likely to get an even pour of all of the colors than I necessarily will this time. I don't think it's going to be bad. It's going to give us some variability in the different dice from the set. I'm actually really excited to see how all of that one turns out. So it is a very pretty combination of colors. Holiday Hotel. I'm telling you all, this pretzel playlist is a journey. It is a journey. But yeah, like I said, eventually one day I'll have a lav mic. I don't think it'll solve for like the muffled, but it might be just a little bit easier to place compared to a headset mic for this particular use. The other part of the trouble too is like in this, especially in this very specific instance, is that I'm doing kind of modified setups as I move my stuff around my apartment. So I think I was saying it to you, or I was saying it early on, and I don't know how much the captions caught. I'm actually at my kitchen table today because I'm set up by the window so that I can have some good like natural light while I'm doing this. And that means that I have to, like, I'm using the laptop, which I normally use for streaming from the Switch, which is why things like the alerts were missing. Because I forgot to add that to this scene when I was trying to put everything in. Hello, DC. Welcome in. I hope the audio's okay. Footnote, I'm currently in another room washing off the set of tools I just used before we go on to our next set of dice. So I will be back and actually on camera in a second, but you have the audio for the time being. Alright. I think that's reasonably good. We'll just take a pass. We've just made one set of dice and we're going to make another. The other thing I need to do is I need to set a reminder on my phone to open that set tomorrow at about 11-ish. Ooh, and while I'm in here, or while I'm not literally on the stream, on the stream, unlike the stream, please don't ask me if I can make any sense of anything right now, because the answer is no. I wish on this little 3-pour thing that it had a little bit more rounded corners, because I feel like you're going to end up with like resin stuck in those hard corners when it comes to cleaning it. But alright, I think that's going to be good enough for our purposes. I say that as I now realize that there is a bit of purple in this corner I'm trying to get to. I mean, as long as the bulk of the color's out of the way and it's not gonna like tint my next set of colors, I think it's fine. But it's the principle of the thing. Because we're about to do the exact same thing. We'll try to mix for like 50 milliliters this time instead of 60, because obviously with the number of runes we got to do afterwards, 60 ended up being too much, but I'd rather have too much than too little. Alright, so let me bring all of this back. Oh, and I need to move the... I'm also doing chores. I'm also doing chores, and by chores I mean I have the laundry running, so I'll move stuff from the dryer, or move stuff to the dryer. But hi, DC. I hope you're doing alright. And that your Wednesday, is it Wednesday? Your Wednesday is going well. Alright, off you go. Let's move you into the dryer. Sorry, y'all. Y'all are getting the like most lackadaisical dice making stream ever. Which is to say that I'm easily distracted. But like, we're making stuff. Go. Alright. Multitasking stream, basically. That's exactly what we're doing here. Okay. So we're going to take a second to make sure that I hydrate. Everyone else should do that as well. It's the one downside with using the respirator mask, is that I'm like, oh, I can't take sips while I'm here. So this gives me a second to shift everything around. We're actually going to take and dry out all of our tools. Nice. Yeah, we're taking it easy. So we just did a multi-pour, which you can kind of see it is a purple, pink, yellow color. Ooh, oh no, oh no, oh no. Note to self, don't set things down right next to the drying resin. Whoops. We'll just move that off to the side, it's fine. I really should put my gloves back on for this, but it's a pain to put them on and off just for cleaning, so like that's on me. Just gonna dry everything out. But yeah, so we just did those, and we're next gonna do more of like an ocean-y pour. Ocean water, or just blues, because blues are my favorite. I have an aesthetic, if you don't know. So we tried out this little tri-pour thing, which actually turned out really, really good, though we learned a little bit as we go, which is always important. So let me trash all of this. I'll respond to the couple of texts I got that came in. We will hydrate, and then I'll get all of this set up and we'll do a second pour. And then that'll be the last of it, because then that'll bring me to more sets of dice that I need to sand. Buying that mini pottery wheel is seeming more and more enticing the more I do this to myself. But yeah, I hope everybody's middle of the week has gone alright. As a quick note for the DCs and anybody else who might have wandered in, there will be a dice sanding stream. It's going to be very much like this. Me just... it'll be a lot like this of me just talking while I do stuff. In fairness, the thing that's interesting here, and I don't know how somebody would actually solve for this, I would love for people's thoughts on it, because I have, so far, when I look at things like YouTube, it's very clear that people are basically recording the audio separately to go over the YouTube video because they're wearing their masks and all their safety gear, and it's not practical to otherwise to like record their audio while they're doing it and have it be good. That's right, you mentioned you had ordered a kit of sanding things, so guess what? I hope you have all your sanding stuff. We're definitely going to be doing a sanding co-stream maybe tomorrow at our regularly scheduled stream time, and not me randomly deciding that I just want to right now. Oh, let me put this someplace else so that it can get cleaned next time. So anyways, I'm cleaning and resetting up because I want to keep this relatively organized. This is how I screwed myself over when I tried to do 2 sets of dice last time. So we are not going to do that today, which is getting everything organized. I am going to do the same thing. Okay, box is next to me on the perfect. I mean, I think I wasn't sure what I was going to do, and then I looked and I was like, no one is on, and I wanted to make some more dice, so why not go live and stream it? I want you all to know that I legitimately moved this this camera, which is on a little tripod stand with a light, over to this room like 5 minutes before I went live. I was like, I can make this work. I don't know if it's good or bad that I've become so efficient at being able to how to phrase this, effectively move parts of my setup around so that I can do whatever I want. The good part is I can do whatever I want, and that means I can move my stuff around like this. The downside is, because I can do whatever I want, that also means that I'm not the best at having, like, it's a trade-off. I feel like my not permanent setup, I don't know how to phrase this, like as a result of the fact that my setup is a little transient so that I can easily shift things around and what have you, that means that I'm not necessarily putting the same amount of time and attention into perfecting a permanent setup, because spending too much time making it work really well in a permanent location isn't going to help me if I'm constantly moving things around. I need more of a, what's the word when things can shift really easily? I need more of a I can't word, y'all. There's a word for this that I cannot think of at this exact moment. Modular, yes, that word. I need more of a modular setup. Ideally in the other room where my gaming and sewing stuff is, or my gaming PC, what I typically stream from. So we are going to do the same thing here, y'all. All right. Dark, middle, light. Honestly, life goals would be, you know, those people who have like the big frames and rigs that they can then like slide cameras and lights along. That's ideally how I would set up a room if I wanted to have the flexibility, is just have a frame across a couple different tables and spaces that runs to the wall and stuff, and then I could just move cameras and lights on that. But that is not practical and it would cost a whole lot of money. Well, it's practical, but it would cost a whole lot of money. So we ain't doing that. The other thing that I'm not sure how to figure out, like, I think a lav mic would help a little bit when I'm wearing the respirator mask, but it would still probably be muffled. It would just be a little more practical than... Oh, there's a Susie. Head pats for Susie. Would be a little more practical than the headset mic I'm using right now. One day, she says to herself. All right, so let me just check a couple things on the computer. Dun, dun. Okay. All right, perfect. Yeah, right? Isn't that... I've been very fortunate. I don't know if fortunate's the way I would use this. I'm a pack rat is actually the better way of putting this. All right, before I get too far, let me finish my notes on that particular set of dice. I'm legit taking a lint roller to my mold to get Susie hair off of it. Again, I don't think it's too much of a problem. It's more the principle of the thing. All right. Susie, I love you, but also you make my life more difficult. Okay, let me take some quick notes. So I did the mix. A note to myself is I should let the resin sit and cool so that all the colors are the same or a similar temperature, and so they'll pour out of this a little at the same speed, because it wasn't the case, and so my D20 is going to have much less purple than a few of the others. I think it's going to work out fine, but just on the principle, I do see a couple little bubbles around the numbers, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I just have to get better at pouring, I feel like, slowly to make sure that the resin has time to fill in all of the gaps, or more slowly than I have been. So we'll get to try that on this next set. Practice pouring. more slowly. Ended up with resin enough for 3-ish runes. Okay. So basically, we're going to do the exact same thing that we just did. So back to my thought for you, DC. I have been very fortunate in the sense that I am a pack rat, and every time I upgrade stuff, I do... What dice? This is going to be my 10th set of dice, y'all. Alright, dice number 10, which I am casting today, which is the 20th. I'm going to be doing 3 colors, which I already know. We are going to I try to fill out as much in advance of what I know I'm going to do. Alright, so we're going to have blueberry, forget-me-not, and clover. So I'm not having to touch as much stuff while I'm actually messing with the resin. So I keep track of what I'm mixing and stuff, just more on principle of wanting to have an idea of like, oh, I did that, that was really cool, you know, get a feel for the colors, how many drops of ink I needed, blah blah blah. So to your point about setting up the station, 1, you have to have the space, which is a challenge, and then 2, obviously having the stuff. My pack rat tendencies have worked to my advantage because I'll give an example. I upgraded my PC, like the full rebuild, full being relative. I usually upgrade everything except for usually the graphics card, because that tends to be the biggest single priced thing, or like the largest hits my pocketbook. So I have that on like an off schedule from when I upgrade the rest of the PC. In that I kind of rebuild everything except for the graphics card usually at one go, and then a couple years later is when I can shift to upgrade the graphics card, and I go like 1 gen behind whatever the current is so that it's not as expensive, but it keeps me reasonably being able to build a decent PCs. I'm never the highest end of the highest end, but I'm in that like mid to high powered range. But so every time that I rebuild, I hold on to a bunch of old stuff. So like obviously there's a lot of equipment that just doesn't make sense, and whatever I do, I either, you know, see if friends want or alternatively recycle. But one of the things I did my last build, which was 2018, is I upgraded to a larger desktop, like physical desk size. I have the IKEA ones where you buy the top, and the legs separately. So basically I kept the legs I had, bought the larger tabletop size, and just swapped it out. Well, at the time I was like, well, I don't want to get rid of the old tabletop because I don't know what I'll need it for. So I held on to it. Like, I moved with it. And then when I started getting into other crafty things in 2020, I was like, well, all I got to do is buy new legs, which from an overall cost standpoint is not as expensive. Bought some basic ones and attached it, and I had a second tabletop, essentially a second desk. So a lot of the stuff, and when I talk about setting up your space and figuring out like repurposing as much as you can is so helpful, because then it's like you repurpose something, it's good enough to start with, and then as you work through doing a thing, whether that's crafting, whether it's something else, you start to get a feel for like, what do I actually need, what do I want to spend the money on, and so like now 4 years later, yes, I've accumulated a large amount of kind of pieces of equipment, the fact that I have 3 cameras, blah, blah, blah. Yes, there's a lot of those, but altogether, it's because I've gotten them little by little, one at a time, as I found a need for something. And in the meantime, I kind of make do. I also have the benefit that I'm not trying to this is not my job. I'm not trying to build income from this, or it's not my sole source of income, I should say. What is this pretzel? All right. So real quick, we're going to run through the next dice pour, and then I'm going to do the same thing as what I did for this last one, which is that I will turn off the mic because it will be muffled by the respirator mask. But I will actually leave the headset on and be talking into it, so you will see commentary, good or bad, who knows, through the captions. Like I said, that'll be something to figure out if there's can head over. All right. We're going to do this next set, and then I'm probably going to call it stream. So, because one of my friends is like, do you want to play Magic? And my answer is, why, yes, of course I want to play Magic. All right, so real quick, we are going to be doing another pour. We're going to do a similar way of how I just did it, which is that I will pour and mix into one, set it to clear out the bubbles, pour it out into the other two, and end up and then add it into our little tricolor pour, whatever this is, tricolor cup. And we're going to be doing this with the standard pyramid D4 set. We're going to be doing a darker blue, blueberry, a not quite as dark blue, forget me not, and then this kind of, I don't know, tealish clover. Trying to go for a little bit more of like a watery ocean combo. I'm probably going to try and pour closer to 50 milliliters instead of 60 this time, because we did end up with, when it was all said and done, a lot more left over here on our rune setup. But otherwise, that'll be it. So hold on a second. I'm going to shift the headset with the mask and all of that, and we will get started. Except I forgot to turn off the mic. the mask is a little bit of a lot. I also wonder how much my neighbors are like, happen to see me through the window and are like, what is this person doing that they're walking around their apartment in a mask? All right. But yeah. So how's everyone doing today? I hope your pre-holidays are going good. I'm so behind on everything. I was a little under the weather the last couple of days. And as a result. But yeah, y'all can see, okay, I did not for the very first set. I had to come back and add my notes in. Actually, I had notes that I was taking as Tanya was running me through it. So this was us just chatting in journal, the notes that I was taking. And then after that, I was like, I should get better at this. I don't know why. I have a note up in the corner that just says cosplay things. And I don't know what that means. But clearly I thought it was important for something. But then by the second set, I started going through and like, here's the day that I like mixed the dice and what have you. So now we're on dice set number 10. Made the terrible, bad decision to have Taco Bell for breakfast. I'm sorry. I actually cooked last night. Yeah, I didn't talk about it too much because it was just one of those like, this year's been stressful in a lot of ways. And as a result, and I think like I took this week off from work. Our offices are closed next week, so I've had 2 weeks to kind of end the year. And I think all of the like compounding buildup of stress finally hit me, and just over the weekend I was like, I cannot. The fact that I streamed on Monday at all is a surprise to me. But it was Zelda, and it made me happy, so therefore it was worth doing. But yes, good luck with breakfast. I actually cooked last night, so I'll have leftovers for lunch before I head over to my friends to play Magic. But I feel really accomplished. I spent some time last night. One of the things I'm trying to get better about doing at the end of the year is sort of doing a little wrap up for myself, a year in review, which everyone is sending your year in review emails, which is fine for some things like Twitch and like the games that you played, so Nintendo, Steam, what have you, doing it, I'm okay with. My issue is like Throne sent me a year in review, and I'm like, Throne, I don't even advertise that I have one of you. So why are you talking to, like, and your year in review is like, how many views of your page, you know, how many items did you add to your wish list? Those aren't meaningful. Marriott sent me a year in review. Like, Marriott. I mean, unless I want to be excited about all the trips I took. This seems silly, but I like using it because I'm basically going through and it's like, what are the things that I was keeping track of throughout the year? So like month by month, I was keeping track of my sewing projects that I completed, the books I read, things like that. So it's nice for me to go back and like talk, you know, write out like, oh, here's like how I did versus what I was hoping. Here's why things weren't where I thought they would be. Like, I didn't do as much crochet this year, but that's because I did a lot of sewing. I didn't even get some of the sewing projects I thought I would get done because I decided to inundate myself with quilting projects. Pros and cons. What did I learn from that? You know, those sorts of things. So I've been doing my personal year in review in my planner because I also want to turn around and I got in my next planner. Maybe that's what we'll do on another day, is a planner stream. Maybe that'll be something I do over the weekend because I'm going to start prepping I would like to start prepping my January and kind of 2024 items that I know are going on. I got to finish my Regia stuff because I'm behind. I also need to double check the time of related to that with the panels, because I think because a couple of the panels are later, I might try to schedule Susie to stay to be boarded and maybe do like 2 nights of the con up in Boston, just because I think one of my panels is like scheduled tentatively because I need to approve my draft schedule for like 8:30 at night. And I'm like, by the time the panel's done and I've talked to people and goofed off afterwards, I'm going to be taking a late train. I'm not going to get until like midnight. At that point, why don't I just stay the night kind of thing? So, yay, cons. Oh. Since I'm done with the candle warmer, let's go ahead and turn that off. Sorry for getting super close to the camera there. But yeah, I'm very excited. These colors, I think in combination are going to turn out really well. I hope. Anybody have any fun plans for this week? I'm basically making dice, doing chores, doing crafty things, trying to kind of wrap up anything I said I was going to get done before end of year. There's a couple things I need to do, like get my car inspection done, which I'm just slacking on. Trying to think, car inspection, what else? I had won a raffle from a thing with a charity thing that I did that gave me like gift certificates for like 4 different massages that I never scheduled, so I want to get that on, even if I scheduled them for after the new year. I need to call the places. Maybe, right? Yeah, I need to revisit some of the stuff I was working on during NaNoWriMo. I think I ended up with around about 15,000 words after NaNoWriMo, so I'm feeling good about that. So I'm mostly just waiting. The main thing I want to happen here is I want the resin to cool a little bit, because the thing that happened with this set is that the last color I added in was still very warm from the candle warmer, while the first color, so the last was the yellow, the first was the purple, and so when I ended up trying to pour into the mold, they poured out at different speeds, and so like my D20, which is the first one I did, ended up having very, very little purple in it. Overall, it's not a problem. It'll give some variety, some variance in each of the die themselves, but I want to try and have a little bit more balance, so I'm giving it a few minutes to hopefully have this last one cool a little bit before I attempt. I still don't, just because of the difference in time that they'll have been from when they were on the candle warmer, they're not going to end up at the exact same pouring speed, but I don't want one gushing out while the other one hasn't even made it to the lip. Setting up a profile and start playing, read some more TTRPG books. Nice, yes, all the books. I want to get finish getting some chores done. My planner is one of the big things. Planners for me are nice because when I write something down in addition to like putting it on my calendar or my phone, it just sets into my memory a little bit more. And then I can also, I like having those sort of monthly wrap-ups and starts just to help me think about what are the things I want to do. Life happens, stuff changes, it's fine. All right, I'm going to give it 2 more minutes until my clock says 12:05 and then we'll pour. We're definitely going to be playing some more Zelda. Maybe that'll be a Friday stream. Honestly, originally I was like, I'll stream tonight because I know Wednesday night there aren't as many people streaming. And as many people, I mean, normally I see DM Jazzy Hands, who is now off to the end of the year. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll come back and play Zelda tonight. Who knows? Depends on how long I end up playing Magic with my friends. I still have to finish 2 quilts before Resia, which will be fine. One of them should be relatively simple. I finished cutting it already. That's the one for you, Cypher. All of the fabric is cut, so now it's just going to be sewing. So I will say this is one of the things that I am running into as a little bit of a challenge, is that I do not have enough space to have multiple craft setups. Like, y'all can see, like, this is my kitchen table. I've repurposed it when I'm doing dicey things. And when I'm done, I'll put everything away and then I'll deep clean this so I'm not having any overlap of, like, resin with food when I'm eating. And then you all see on the other table, which is where I typically sew, that I'll move the machines out of the way and then set up for, like, sanding or dice or crochet, which is fine. But it becomes a problem that it's like, well, I have to put away my sewing projects to have the space to set something else out, which then makes it very difficult. I do not have the room in my current setup without having to run into a lot of reorganizing challenges of just space to have two separate tables set up, one for dice and one for sewing. But it is a little bit of a hassle where I'm like, oh, I need to finish sanding the dice, but I don't want to put all of that away because I'm going to do sewing because I'm going to have to pull it all back out, blah, blah, blah. So who knows? Maybe we'll get 2 streams today because I play Zelda tonight. I don't know. Alright. It's 12:05. So we are going to... I'm cheating a little bit where I'm like, I've already mixed the resin. So for this last little bit, I'm not going to wear the mask. But hopefully it'll be fine. Alright. They're moving at kind of the same speed. The green is still a little bit faster, but I'm going to try and pour very, very slowly. Actually, the blue is frickin' moving quickly. I'm going to try and pour very... The blue should not be moving... The middle blue, I should say. Should not be moving this quickly, despite what it is. So... I guess we're gonna give it a couple more minutes. I want you to pour it the semi-same consistency, darn it. Oh. We'll wait until 12:10 now. So yeah, so we'll pour all of this in, we'll do our lid, whatever's left over will go into a couple more rune molds, and then we'll let this sit for a few minutes so that I can take any bubbles off the top. I will say this is a relatively small square table that I'm using, so you all can't see it, but literally just above this is where the laptop is. So I'd say about like a third of the table is allocated to the tripod with the camera and the light, the laptop, the candle warmers kind of in the space in between. And then the rest of this has to fit into these small amounts of space, which is not even the full length of my arm. Space is one of the biggest challenges. Now we're on jazzy music. Pretzel, what is this journey? Dun, 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 dun. I have so many questions about this playlist. So many questions. Alright, you know what? Forget it. We're going for it. There we go. Our dark blue's showing up real late. I'm trying to pour it slow enough that it has like the time to fill in all of the I will say the one thing that's interesting with this one is the colors are similar enough that like the layers, I shouldn't say layers, but the different parts are not quite as distinct as with like as we had with the purple, pink, and yellow. So I'm a little unsure if we're gonna get the same, like quite as clear distinction in the colors once it's all set. Or once it's cured, I guess. Alright, last one, let's hope it. Alright. I don't know, might be good. Alright, we're gonna let that sit for a second. Let's go ahead and this seems like a better amount of resin when it's all said and done. Now we're going to let all of that sit for a few minutes. Pour what's left of our resin. Actually, let's be smart. She says to herself, when am I ever going to be smart? Reminder to hydrate. Hydrate, everyone. Thanks, Nightbot. Alright. Now let's take our stirring stick. That was a much smoother set of pours than the first time around. So we are getting a little better about this as we get more experience. Yes. Ooh, well, too late now. If I was smart, I would have poured this on top of the other one that's half full. Would have given us an interesting combination of colors, I think. But too late now. I do feel like I went from like, oh, this was like a decent speed of pour to like, oh no, this is now definitely getting cooler. And therefore, not hardening, but getting much, much more into the like gooey side of resin. The gooey side of resin, y'all. Listen, I'm not a professional. No one should expect anything from me that is not nonsense, essentially, is the way I would put this. Alright. This is very, very gooey. Not that goo is bad. Just I'm trying to clear it out and get it off. Get all of it in. Cooperate with me, damn you. All right. Ah, I accidentally touched the other one. Well, that's my mistake. All right, good enough. Hopefully, she says to herself. Welcome to me talking to myself, which, I mean, you all get a lot of stream of conscious when I'm doing sewing and things like that, but I feel like this is very much not worse. Alright, so y'all can't see it right now, but I feel like these two on the bottom, which the camera, I'm afraid to move this in case it like spills out, but this one I'm pointing at right here and the one right next to it I think are the best color variances of what I want the dice to kind of be like. I'll snap a photo and post it up later. I definitely feel, I can see a couple little bubbles, but I do feel like this pour went a lot better when it comes to bubbles in by the numbers and stuff. I am gonna walk over here and grab, I don't know if this is gonna work for me, but I'm gonna try y'all. A toothpick to see if I can take out a couple of these bubbles here. Nope, I'm just making it worse. So, pro tip, that does not work. Honestly, I don't even seem to have many bubbles like rising to the surface, y'all. I feel like this one, if I don't botch putting the lid on, is gonna have a really nice pour. So we are gonna do that right now. We are gonna hope for the best. Here we go, y'all. Start from the center and work our way out. Come on, Bubble, go join the rest of your bubble friends this way. I'm trying to make sure Bubble didn't end up on one. Alright! Haha! We're done. Oh no, crap. Yes, actually, no, we're fine. We're fine. This is great. Everything looks good. So there we go, y'all. We made 2 sets of... Alright, I'm gonna attempt very badly to lift this up and not have it, like, spill over or anything. So I can show you all a little closer. There you go. So the bottom 2, well, the bottom 3 actually, but the blue, green, and the purple, yellow right next to each other are probably the closest to what I wanted the color variants to look like on the final die. Of course, the camera is not picking up the colors very well, so I will do my best to take a good picture of that. But we are going to end it here. So let me... I can actually like take the gloves all the way off now because I will not re-need them. The rest of this is just going to basically live here and sit. Perfect, perfect. I'm very excited. Okay. So thank you all for this impromptu midday stream. I appreciate you joining me. I mean, did you request them? Hey, Ender, I don't... Oh no, this isn't muted! Me, it mutes Twitch. Twitch does not mute. Where do I want to go right now? Who is live? Dun 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 dun. Panda, yeah, Technique is doing Dave the Diver. I kind of want to go to another Maker and Crafter, so we'll go over to Panda. That's what we will do. So we are gonna raid Panda. With a, there we go. So raid call is Lucky Raid with a Susie or other hi or hello emote if you are not a sub, which is perfectly fine. We are going to go join Panda, who is doing makers and crafting. As always, everyone, please thank you so much for hanging out with me. I do appreciate you, especially since you came in on a midday stream, which I normally don't do, to watch me attempt dice, especially with having to deal with the mask and no mic for parts of it. So probably going to at some point be doing a co-stream with Cypher. Definitely going to be streaming tomorrow, probably regular time. You all might get some extra streams, multiple in a day, who knows. So as always, everyone, please be safe, be healthy, happy crafting, happy gaming, and I did not switch my scene over to ending. There we go. And I will see y'all around. Have a good one.